it's the best thing that I can do with you. I give you my time now, baby. Where you rest your mind with me, 'cause I need you. Stay by my side, 'cause baby, I give you all of me. Stay with me till the Can you stay until the night comes? Stay until. Give me your time now, baby. I give you all of me. Oh, there's a moment I knew it was you. Your eyes told me things no one could ever do. You make this life so light, nothing like you and I. We got it all together. I give you my time now, baby. Where you rest your mind with me, 'cause I need you. Stay by my side, 'cause baby, I give you all of me. Stay with me till the Stay with me. Lay by my side till the early morning. Give me your time, give you all of me. Come too close. Give you my time now, baby. Where you rest your mind with me, 'cause I need you. Stay by my side, 'cause baby, I give you all of me. Stay with me till the night comes closer. Lay by my side till the early morning. Give me your time, 'cause baby, I give you all of me. Baby, I give you. Baby, I give you. Baby, I give you all of me. I give you my time now, baby. Where you rest your mind with me, 'cause I need you. Stay by my side, 'cause baby, I give you all of me. Stay with me till the night comes closer. Lay by my side till the early morning. Give me your time now, baby. I give you all of me.
Well, hello there. What's going on, y'all? I am back. It's been a while. I know. Yeah. It's been crazy. So, what's good, Furies? Kazama here, and shit. How your weekend has been? I know it's been nuts. I had to take the lenses out because the allergies were getting to my eyes. But yo, what's going on, Demetrius? It's been. I'm looking at the pictures you sent me, bro, and yo, I don't know, man. It's been this thing. Like, we've been talking about it from a game talk, because I haven't done this in a while. Talking about video games, I've been talking about more serious issues and more advice issues and stuff. But yo, there's a clear Microsoft hate parade going on right now, and I think it's because it's stupid in the long run of things, but a lot of people just like to be on parades. People ain't got no how can we say, no autonomy anymore. They ain't got no fucking identity of their own. It's like you gotta do what everybody's doing because you are chasing numbers. Man, please. The only thing that I can get by getting over 1,000 subscribers is the ability back to go live from my mobile device. Something that YouTube took away. Yes, YouTube took away the ability to go live if you had under 1,000 subscribers from a mobile phone. Like, really. So it's the thing. It's just a lot of things that YouTube has been doing that just took it saps the energy out of you. And like I'm like Kendrick Lamar when he said in King Kunta, If I got a brown nose for some gold, then I'd rather be a bum than a motherfucking baller. And that is the case. I'm not brown nosing for subs. I'm putting out stuff that I feel that I have an opinion on. I'm no expert. I like to learn things. I like to converse with people, shoot the breeze and stuff. I'm not here saying you gotta donate to me because I'm spitting some game to you. I'm not here saying donate to me because I am your mouthpiece. I'm saying things that you can get on here. You can get a computer. Hell, even if you can't go live and you have a low sub count like I do, you can actually record things and upload them. You got iPhones. These things right here, people. These things right here. You can make media from. There's a program on here called iMovie. Where you think I make a lot of my videos from, where I have this simple background there, and you just hear my voice. You ain't gotta be on camera all the time. You don't. You really don't. I mean, I could have went through most of this channel and not ever show my face, but I decided to show my face because, hell, I do a lot of gaming, and I feel like, I wanted to be behind in me to show me playing it, rather than me thinking I'm do the Philip Mewson on you and actually plagiarize somebody else's gameplay footage and have my voice over it and talk like that. No. Don't. You've seen me get wasted, drunk, angry at Shinobi. No, I'm not gonna do it. No. I thought about it for a second. No, I'm good. I'm not gonna play it today. But if I had donations, well, if you donate enough, I would drink on camera and I'll play Shinobi just for you. No. I have to feel it. So what's good, everybody? What's going on? Anybody watching right now? Because it's a lot of things. Like, I'm just looking at it, and I mentioned just a moment ago the whole hate parade with Microsoft, which is funny. I find this shit fucking hilarious. How people, and infuriating at the same time, because people are so biased. People are so full of shit and stuff, and they have this mindset that everything that Sony puts out is gold, which is bullshit. A lot of their first party games, they're solid. I'm gonna be honest with you, they're solid. I have a lot of them under this green screen. I have a lot of them. The thing is that people put shit on a pedestal, and I'm like, look, don't put vagina on a pedestal. Don't put games on a pedestal, because what do? You feed both of them, and guess what? They become stagnant. Yes. You do anything for your lady, guess what's gonna happen? She's gonna stop doing less. She's gonna start doing less and less for you until you do more and more for her, because she realized she can get rewards. And these game developers realize they're gonna do less and less for you because you're just happy about everything. Like, oh my god, I got this game here. Ghost of Tsushima is the greatest game I've ever played in my life. I have Ghost of Tsushima. My thing is that, I don't know, maybe it's the context of the game, maybe it's a few things, but I've grown really bored of games that just want you to linger for a long time. I'm not saying do away with them, but after you beat the fucking thing, guess what happened? Do you really want to go back and play it again on a higher difficulty? If you found Ghost of Tsushima pretty challenging on standard mode, do you really feel like, wow, I done bust my ass playing this game for 40 something fucking hours. Now I want to go back and play it on the even harder mode because I didn't torture myself enough the first time. Like seriously. Okay? This is why multiplayer games have been holding down Microsoft's Xbox systems. It's the better place to play multiplayer. You get in and get out. Well, at your own discretion, because, one thing, God, y'all fucking blew this game. Alright, one more game. God, man. Oh, we won. Oh, shit, we won. Yo, you're a good squad, yo. Alright, come on, let's go play again. That feeling right there. You don't get that. I heard somebody say gaming is a selfish hobby. Yes, it is. But these companies are even more selfish than you. They are. They're even more selfish than you as developers. Why? Because the almighty dollar is what drives and motivates them. They don't give a damn about your happiness. If they realize they can put out the same type of game on you all the time, they're gonna keep doing that. EA, Sony, Microsoft, they all do that. They're gonna keep putting out the same games, but sometimes these games take a long goddamn time. And the whole stereotype is that Sony just put out all these games at the same time. No, these games take a while to make. They cost a lot to make at the same time. You know? And I keep saying this because, like David Carroll said, repetition is the mother of all creation. Was something of that nature. Is and I gotta constantly tell you, when your former president or your former CEO says that the gaming AAA market is not sustainable for a long, it's not going to be sustainable for a long period of time, I get what he's talking about. Case in point, Cyberpunk 2077. Not that the game's going to be bad. It's that the game has setback after setback after setback after setback because they want this game to run right. And that's, by developer, that's the standard. You should want your game to run right. We can get into the debate of that later, but you would want your game to run right. You want to back up what you said. You want to back up that talk. And each time that they put a development delay on this game, that game costs more to develop. Yeah, repetition is the mother of all skill. Thank you. That's right. And these games cost a lot to do that. Now, I'm looking forward to playing Cyberpunk 2077, but my thing is, these companies lose a lot of money getting the game right. Some companies, like I just said a moment ago, I'm going to get into it right now. Some companies are putting a lot of money into a game that doesn't net them anything back, you know? Some people, and most importantly, a lot of them are putting out games that you can't even, how can I say, they're not even tweaked and perfected correctly. So I applaud CD Projekt Red for what they're doing. My thing is, I know it's costly. It is costly to them. You know, never change CD Projekt Red, but it's costly. It's very costly. It is. So you gotta worry, you gotta spend a lot of money to make a game right. You gotta put out marketing for it, which costs millions more on top of that. Like I've said it before, you looking at an upward swing of a game total with budget, marketing, delays, if there's any of that stuff. You're looking at a game that's gonna cost you about $200 million in development costs. And then the game sells at $60 a pop, and if it doesn't sell high amount of numbers in its peak season, you're gonna take a loss on these games, or you're gonna barely break over the budget. Meaning, let's say for example, $250 million budget for a game. A game sells 4 million copies at its peak, which means it's at its $60 price range. Okay, that is $240 million. And then it has diminishing, it's just like diminishing after that. But it breaks. This is the 250, it's at the 240 right here. And then as diminishing goes, it starts to make a little bit more, and it peaks before it goes to $40, where that the returning value goes down less and less and less. You know? You start to actually see that these games are costing years and money, but they're not bringing anything back. This is why Sean Layden said that we have to find ways to make games that have full quality experiences with less money. And I say for now, it's not hard to do. What was the Nintendo, the NES lifestyle about? Limited by technology. I'm limited by the technology of my time. Remember what Howard Stark said in Iron Man 2, right? What did they do? They made the shit more challenging. They somehow got you. Look at what Miyamoto did with Super Mario Brothers. He took an 8-bit system and kept reusing assets to flip them and make them into different things. He put all of that into a cartridge. And it's one of the most revered games in gaming history. I'm not saying go back to doing the 8-bit period, but I'm saying you can do a lot more with less. But these companies are getting so fucking greedy. And these budgets are getting more ballooned. And I don't need to see Takeshi Kaneshiro all the time. I don't need to see his likeness in the game all the time, or something like that. Or hear Troy Baker's goddamn voice all the time, because you know Troy Baker's, or he getting money. David Hayter didn't even charge that much to do the voice of Solid Snake, and Hideo Kojima couldn't stand him and didn't like his voice for some reason, and went with Kiefer Sutherland, which probably ballooned the budget even higher on Metal Gear Solid 5. And for what? You wasted money on a game, and then you gave us a game that was incomplete and never apologized for it. I know Konami's easy to blame because they are to blame in this series as well. But you and your pompous shit, Hideo Kojima, caused a lot of people to be... You left the series without a definitive ending. You half-assed kept using shit over and over again just because the budget was wrong. And they gave you a award. Jeff Keighley kissed your motherfucking ass and gave you, Metal Gear Solid 5 Game of the Year. Oh, I enjoyed the game. You know I love Metal Gear Solid 5, but the game left me feeling fucking empty. It did not patch in everything between Part 5 and Metal Gear. And, what did we get the promise of? Solid Snake will appear in Metal Gear Solid 5. And we end up just getting his skin. And it looked like his 32-bit model. Yeah, thanks a lot, Kojima, asshole. Anyway, let me catch up with the comments. Okay. 100 million, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and then what's up, Demetrius again? CD Projekt Red's gonna make that money back and then some with The Witcher 3. So yeah. And look, GTA 5 is correct. And what's going on, Reva, aka SG1, the artist formerly known as SG1? And people want Kojima to make Silent Hill game would not be good. He tried, but then Konami just was like, "You gotta go, buddy. We moving in a pachinko direction, where we can just take our old games." And look what they did with Snake Eater. They took all the classic cutscenes and did them in like next gen graphics just to rob people and play pachinko and stuff. And Capcom has done it with Resident Evil and stuff. They've gone that way. And then Capcom got tired of getting shat on. People were straight shitting on Capcom constantly. And they deserved it. But then they kind of redeemed themselves with Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake. Say what you want about them. I feel like it's like this. Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake are not here to replace your original experiences with Resident Evil 2 and 3 in 98 and 99. They are here to introduce new players into the new series. Into the direction that they're taking the series in. And for the classic Resident Evil players, it's a modern retelling of the story. So it's a modern retelling for the fans, but the fans want everything blow for blow to be perfect. I get it. They cut a lot of fluff out of the game. And I'm not making an excuse for the stuff that they cut out of it, but I noticed it was some things that did need to go. Not everything. Some things needed to go. Okay? Like, and then with the new camera perspective, it was kind of hard to get some things in there. Yeah, you got these new advanced graphics, but that's even limited to the vision that they had. You know? People were upset about the whole alligator thing. It was pretty much rendered to a quick time event. What was the old alligator boss fight in Resident Evil 2? Okay, you ran from the gator, he came up, slapped you back, and you ran, and then you pressed the canister off the waterfall. The alligator chews the canister, and then you shoot it and blow his fucking head off. What happened in the Resident Evil 2 remake? Leon ran from an alligator chasing him, and the water slowed Leon down, so you had to dodge him and dodge him and dodge him, and then jump down into the slant, and the thing got caught in his mouth, and you blew his fucking head off. It's pretty much the same thing with a more action flair on it. But I'm sorry, that it's not enough. People complained about dumb shit. There was valid complaints, and then there was people who complained just to complain. You know? And then, like I said again about Resident Evil 3. Did you know that Resident Evil 3 campaign is the shortest, one of the, if not the shortest Resident Evil campaigns in the history of the franchise? It is. And the Resident Evil 3 game, the remake, isn't that long either. It isn't that long either. I watched Carcinogen SDA do speed runs of Resident Evil, and the game's like, it's not long. Neither was the original. If you speed run both of them, look up Carcinogen SDA and watch him do his standard runs and his speed runs from the classic Resident Evil 3 to the new Resident Evil 3, and then you'll see the time for yourself. Just because they redid certain things, they took away from things and added. Look at all the gameplay they added with Carlos. He went back to the RPD. They showed you how Marvin got bit. They showed you a lot of different things. They redid it in a different narrative, almost, but they told you the core story. And the thing is, it feels different. Too different for some people because they wanted the exact same thing. But guess what? Resident Evil 2 remake. I know they took away the giant spiders, they took away the crows and the giant moth, and I'm like, honestly, I don't fucking care about giant spiders because I hate spiders. Number two, crows. Okay, like really, in that type of mode, in that camera mode, and over the shoulder camera mode, how are you supposed to shoot a bunch of crows coming at you from different directions? The character, it's dumb. It had to go. I'm sorry, it had to go. Now, and if it was third person, like it was with the change in angles, you could have kept that in there. Now I can understand they could keep the giant moth and the giant moth or so, but it's flying. It's just a lot of things just don't work in that over the shoulder angle. Okay, it just don't work for that, and I understand that. Because I'm not delusional. I understand certain things had to be changed and either removed or changed around because different camera perspective requires such. It does. Now with auto aim on the over the third person, the original one, where you can actually do the auto aim, you were on point all the time to shoot crows out the air. And you just had to press the left trigger to switch to the next one on the screen like that. You were able to do that. Whereas a character, enemy moving as fast as the crows, you won't be able to catch that, and it would be a difficult enemy, a too difficult enemy. And then you had they've done turned the zombies into bullet sponges. That's the one thing I don't like about it. And people are like, why not? I'm like, because it undoes everything that Resident Evil is all about when it comes to making bullet sponges. You tell me I'm shooting you complete in the head, and you won't go down. It takes that many bullets to the head. No zombie takes that amount. The brain is their simple point. We know that in the game. You made them into bullet sponges. Just why? Why? And I've said it before. Repetition, mother of all skill. Like Carol says, it's because if over the shoulder Resident Evil allowed enemies to be shot, zombies to be shot in the head and cause an instant kill, the game would have been too fucking easy. I said that when I found out like years ago. Go back to my catalog. Very old, when I was talking about the Resident Evil 2. I was talking about that, and before the remake even dropped, and you will hear me say, if it goes over the shoulder, they're gonna have to make the game more difficult, because I already saw a fan make an over the shoulder version using the RE4 style of play with the same type of damage physics with the zombies, and the game was easy as hell. He looked like he had no opposition when it came to killing zombies, because a bullet, if he could shoot them precisely in the head, they were going down quick. That was. They would have either had to speed the zombies up, speed wise, to make them faster, or they would have had to make them difficult. And they decided to make them difficult. That's what they did. That's what they did. There's no way of getting around that. It's no way. And I know I've gone off on a tangent and stuff. And my thing is, you said you can enjoy them as alternate versions, but they are redoing the entire story. So these are going to become pretty much canon. We're going to have, it all started with Resident Evil 1 remake. Everything from Resident Evil 1 remake up to 3 is they retelling of the story modernized, and that's the way they're going to go forward. They even retconned Nemesis. And Nemesis now is, his parasite was created because of Las Plagas. Did you know that? They even said that the person, the director of the game or something in nature said yes, they've known about, Umbrella has known about Las Plagas for years. It was in their research. This is the research that Wesker stole. This is why Wesker was able to be in Resident Evil 4 behind the scenes, because he came looking for the Las Plagas parasite because he already knew it existed from stealing Umbrella's data in Resident Evil 1. He knew about it, but Umbrella used the Las Plagas parasite to create the Nemesis and combined it with other things to create the Nemesis parasite. That's why in the retelling of Resident Evil 3, he was able to make parasite zombies by doing the thing with their head, because he had a derivative of the Las Plagas parasite in him. So, like I said, they retelling it, and now we even hear rumors that there's going to be a remake of RE4 that's going to go even deeper into that. And if that's the case, please get Nick Apostolides back as Leon. You know, I liked him in RE2, but to hear that young Leon spoken in the more mature voice, that would be awesome. But we'll see. How you doing, antisocial socialite? Yeah, I talk games on here. I talk all different types of things on my channel. And salute, thank you. Yeah, I talk all types of things on this channel, but yeah, I do a lot of this, and I do it from that perspective. And you say I'm actually open to RE4 remake as long as there's an emotional connection to the original. I don't know what they're gonna do with that one. I really don't know if they're gonna do that. Me, I'm kind of iffy about Village. I'm still in, but I think they're going in this whole direction with Resident Evil that is going to be, okay, now you understand, Umbrella was just experimenting with things that were already alive in this world. You know? We had ancient plagues. The Las Plagas parasite they have no origin to that. They just said it's an ancient parasite that has existed for years. Will Village tell us more about that? I don't know. Then we got weird creatures that are mutant werewolves, something like that. I'm like, all right, this is what you know how I feel about RE7. RE7 just veered too far off the path. When it came to the game, from a story's perspective, you got a girl that you created mold, but it's in the form of a little girl that ages rapidly, and she gives people the mold, which turns one guy into a Wolverine. He can regenerate himself to a certain degree. You got a lady with bugs coming out of her vajayjay. You got a girl that turned crystallized, a white crystallized version of the mold, and then you got the son that it makes no sense. And the Resident Evil universe, from what we developed, what we've known, it's been science-based. You know? It's been science-based. When we first learned about the T-virus, you realize the T-virus came from a plant. But it was supposed to have had certain capabilities, but the bad side effect caused zombies. And then when they realized it was some other things they can do. They started creating tyrants and all this other crazy stuff from it. But to tell me that now there's an ancient plague in the planet that turned people into this, and it controls people, and these tentacles come out their neck and stuff like that. Now, when 4 came out, 4 was still a good game to play. But I'm like, you know what? The story's changing. Okay, and now it became, but then you thought the Las Plagas parasite was over and done with because you haven't seen anything else about it. They went into experimenting with the T virus, combining it with other viruses and making all these other things. The game Resident Evil became bioterrorism, which was the next progressive step. You know, not every Resident Evil is going to be like this. It's not going to be like this. Oh, we're going to run into a mansion. Oh my God, I'm stuck in a mansion. There's zombies everywhere. I guess there's real evil in this residence. Resident Evil 3. No, it's not going to be like that. Okay? The first Resident Evil, well, this is why they named it Biohazard. Because it was about biohazards, meaning creatures, biological hazards, creatures. Things of that nature, but because Biohazard had a copyright, it was a game. Everybody thought it was because of the Sega Genesis game called Biohazard that they couldn't use it. No, it's because of a music band called Biohazard. So they had to change the name to Resident Evil, something of that nature in America, because of the whole rights to the name Biohazard, which a rock group already has. The thing is that the game never meant to be focused on being in a house. Just in a house. Well, yeah, a lot of people found the first one, especially the remake of Resident Evil 1. That one was terrifying. Because after a while, the first Resident Evil, I was able to I got a little bold on that one. That game was scary because it was the first of its kind when it came to, well, a lot of people would say Alone in the Dark was. It was the first to use angles, to use static camera angles. Alone in the Dark. Resident Evil was the first to actually not just it used those static camera angles, but it was like really a true survival horror game in comparison to the things that came before it. It redefined survival horror. That's why people call it the first, even though we know it's not. Yep. It was the camera angles, and it'd be some places where you come into a room and the camera would be angled up and you see a crow right there and it's right next to his face from this angle, or it'd be one where you don't know what's coming around the corner, but it sees you first. Like coming from that hallway where the dogs came out, if you go through that hallway and like later on when the hunters in the mansion, as soon as you go through that door running around the corner, as soon as you open that in the original Resident Evil, a hunter will come up to you. And the camera's already on you. Like, you right here in the camera like this. And then you'll see a hunter come right next to you and attack you. Those static angles made it scarier. But then we got a lot of young gamers like, I don't know how people play with these angles, these damn camera angles. I'm sorry if Gears of War, Resident Evil 4, and other types of games have made you so accustomed to the over-the-shoulder angle that you don't know how to play other games. You need your gaming card revoked. You need your gaming card revoked. You adapt to games. If you're a true gamer, no, like, you know how many teenagers and early 20-year-olds I've spoke to who can't play the old Resident Evils in that camera mode? And I'm like, oh, you fucking kid, are you serious? Oh my God, are you serious? And this is not me being a boomer. Don't let the gray hair fool you. I'm only 42. The thing is that gaming is changing. It is. And I am like, okay, there's some things that they did really good in the past that they aren't doing anymore, but there's some things that they're doing good now that they didn't do in the past. I can't be that biased of it. But when it comes to how they are financially butt raping the consumer, yeah, it is. Hold on, I got a phone call. Hello?
Hi. about you?
It's my girlfriend. Hey, I'm doing good. I was actually doing a live video right now. Where you at home?
Yeah, I'm going to pass to your house because my daughter want to see you, the PD.
Oh, okay. So let me know when you nearby so I can bring PD out.
Awesome. Okay. Okay.
Okay, bye. Sorry about that, girl. So my girlfriend's bringing her kid by to see my dog. Yes, her kid. I don't have any. Anyway, it's like let me get to the comment section. You said yes, it was the camera angles, and it's true. Long shot and you're limping. Hello, true. People are so used to only over the shoulder game. Yeah, I mean, somebody need to take it back. Somebody need to be like, you know what? This is old school survival horror style. Let's take it back to that. Like, look at the YouTube video channel Residents of Evil. They have a game coming out inspired by them called Vigil. That's inspired by classic Resident Evil. I gotta see what's going on with the development of Vigil. But yeah, things of that nature. Because what's the game? Daymare 98 was more like RE4 and things of that nature, that over the shoulder one, whereas Vigil's gonna have the camera angles, the static camera angles. So I'm waiting to actually see that. So yeah, it's been crazy, man. And the old school Resident Evils prove my point. You were able to do so much with so less when it came to technology. You were able to do that. And a lot of people saying, well, it costs more because of these, because of the hardware. And I'm like, I kind of call bullshit on that. You know why? Because yes, the hardware is more expensive to buy, but why is it costing so much to make games on there and stuff? Like, people want, I get it. Not every game needs to be, okay, I can use a whole bunch of polygons in this one string of grass right here and it looks so realistic. Look at the facial expressions and the motion capture and things of that nature. Not every game needs to be a cinematic experience, and this is why I have so much disdain for how people treat the Sony AAA games. I have so much disdain because there's a lot of how can we say, there's a lot of people just hype them up. It's like this whole thing. Yes, they are told you get these good cutscenes, you get all this, but then we back to the same repetitive play until we get to the next cutscene, black, blah 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 and stuff, and I don't see what's the mistake. I'll tell you the last PS4 exclusive that I enjoyed playing the whole game, like the whole entire game, and it didn't really piss me off too much, except for when I was fighting the Valkyries, was God of War. Even enemies, even though they made the game like Dark Souls difficult at times because of certain enemies, I'm like this. To myself, it defied logic. Like, look, Kratos is a fucking god. You telling me he should be going through these people like a hot knife through butter, but to make the game more difficult, you had to make him do all these upgrades again and again and again, as if his old powers meant nothing. You know, I get it from a game point. You gotta nerf the characters so you can have a challenge, but from a narrative standpoint, I'm like, whatever. But overall, I wasn't very frustrated about the game at all. There's certain ways you had to work about it and stuff like that. But people going nuts over Last of Us 2 because of the whole Abby thing. But my thing is, I never really cared that much about Last of Us in the first place because I didn't care about the controversy behind it, about Joel. I really didn't. You know why? He had it coming. He had it coming. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Chris? How's the military doing you? Ayo, how you doing? I never really had much of an issue with The Last of Us 2's story and what they did with Joel, because he had it coming. He had it coming, you know? And it's one of those things that is 50-50 about what he did. He murdered everybody to save Ellie from dying, because the cure wasn't even something that was positively definitive. It was a 50-50, if a 50-50 chance that it would be successful. So Ellie could have died for nothing, or she could have died for something. But Joel had to be like, you know what? I lost my daughter and my wife. Ellie is like my new daughter now, so I'm going to kill everybody. I'm going to protect Ellie the way I couldn't protect my daughter. He was selfish. He was a selfish asshole. But people loved him because you played as Joel so much. But if you really enjoy the game from a story perspective, you will understand he had it coming. He killed people, families. Ellie, in Last of Us 2, killed a woman who was pregnant. He killed Abby. He killed Abby's ex-boyfriend, who was the father of that baby. Ellie killed the pregnant woman and the baby. Killed the baby father, killed numerous other people. What's the black female that was Abby's friend? She bludgeoned her to death with a pipe. Told you, yeah, I make it quick for you. And she beat her to death with a pipe. And this game was not a feel-good game. The first one wasn't a feel-good game. So I don't know why you're crying about a main character dying. When his story, the ending pretty much, he signed his own death sentence. His death warrant. He signed it. You know? I don't understand. Maybe it's just I'm too invested into the story. Or I see it's just logic with a lot of stuff. Like, people like, oh, how could they shit on Joe? Look at what happened in the ending. You know? People didn't realize when Abby and Ellie fought for the last time, she saw red. When she was fighting Abby in the water, she saw Joe. Initially, they cut to Joe laying there with his head beaten in. She saw that anger. And she just was at the cusp of giving in to that anger that Abby gave into when she killed Joel. And then she saw what Joel wanted for her. Because he said, if I lose you, I'll lose myself. And Joel, even though he died, Joel was still alive inside her. And she was killing off everything that Joel wanted for her. To live a life. This is what he sacrificed his life for. Because he did sacrifice his life. Because if he let Ellie die in that surgery, he would have just went on and lived his life. But he decided to take matters into his own hands to save her life. And those are the ramifications of that. It's simple storytelling. It's simple storytelling. You know? But yeah, she saw, just as she was drowning Abby, she saw Joe sitting there strumming the guitar, because that was one of the best memories she had of Joel. He cared for her. He loved her like she was his daughter. And now she can't, because of her quest for revenge, she can't play the guitar anymore because she got these two fucking fingers bit off by Abby when she could have just let Abby go. Eye for an eye, you just end up blind. That was the whole theme of the fucking game. Well, everybody complained about, oh my god, I can't stand look at Abby and she had sex and she's so muscular. That's unrealistic on how you could be like, fuck you. Screw you. They showed you that she had access to a gym and they had a full regimen of diet. and that she was always into fitness. But when her father died, she even lost herself even more into that to cope with it. But she couldn't live with herself until she got vengeance. Just like Ellie couldn't live with herself until she got vengeance and came this close, but then realized she finally got it. It was that simple. I ain't even play the fucking game. I just know the story. It's that because I follow people playing that. I just like, it ain't my cup of tea, but from a story perspective, I think it's really good. People just didn't like that. People didn't get what they want. You know? They didn't. And whew. Let me see. Let me show this. It's not unrealistic. Shit, there's girls in the army that are like, they're built like Abby. And her model, she's built off of her body is modeled after a real woman. I forgot the female's name. She's a blonde bodybuilder slash personal trainer. Abby's body is the exact model of hers. And then women started posting pictures of themselves in Abby's shape. I'm sorry that she couldn't get her breasts done in the apocalypse to make her look more feminine. But that's what happened when women bodybuild on the level that men do. The testosterone takes over. It does. Unless they were using, that's the only way they're going to build muscle that nature, because we all have both estrogen and testosterone in us. Testosterone is more beneficial to a man, and estrogen is more beneficial to women. But when men get more estrogen in them by eating soy all the time, their muscle mass diminishes, their emotions change. Whereas women, the same thing. If they get too much testosterone to them, their emotions change, they become more aggressive, and their muscles become more bigger. It's simple science, you fucktwits. Anyway, oh man, I just like to get games that don't take place in dystopian zombie-infested future. A lot of people actually stopped watching The Walking Dead because it got too depressing to them. And I'm like, I knew what I was getting into. It ain't depressing to me, everybody. And I realize when I watch apocalyptic stuff, people gotta die sometimes. That's the story. People die all the time. And one day is going to be one of your main characters. It's just the way shit goes. Okay? When Glenn got his brains beat in by Negan, people kind of saw it coming because they already knew about the comic already. This is why the comic book saved Rick's death all the way to the end. Only like the second to last issue, they saved his death too. Well, yeah, about the second or third to last one. And you said, what's the Series X? Series X, my thoughts on it, I feel like it's like this. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what path they're going to go down. I don't know. I have no dates on their AAA or their first party games. My thing is, for the experiences of playing Game Pass on it, if you are interested in getting into Game Pass but you don't want to spend too much money, the S is there. X is for those who are really Microsoft. They love everything Microsoft do. Or even if you're not a big, oh my God, I'm a pro Microsoft person. If you are into performance, because the only difference is gonna have 4 teraflops on the S versus the X. If you really want to play the games at their best level, I would say get the Series X. If you are a fan of Game Pass like I am, and you want to update your experience into like your console into next gen, $500 is not a bad price. I'm sorry, I thought, that's actually a good price. I said initially I wasn't gonna get it this year, but because they're doing $34.99 a month to pay it off, with Game Pass and stuff, they letting you finance it off and play and you sign up for Game Pass and you pay it off monthly in one fell swoop for $34.99. So I think that's a good deal. I really do. You ain't got to worry about breaking a bank. You can focus on buying certain games if it's disc or download, whatever your choice is. You got the pass library to hold you over with Game Pass. And Game Pass gets good third-party deals. And now Microsoft is like, okay, with EA Play, even though we know EA's fucking scum, they have made some good games in the past that you now will have access to when you get the Game Pass. I think it's a good console to get. PS5, yeah. The rumor is 500 and 400 for the discless one. That's the rumors. My thing is that I know what I'm getting to with PS5, and Miles Morales is coming out. It's not going to be a full game. The rumor is that they're going to include a more enhanced version of Spider-Man for PS4 with it to make up for the fact that it's not as long as the original Spider-Man. So they better not put out Miles Morales by itself and it be $60. That would be highway robbery. Ratchet and Clank looks great. I love Ratchet and Clank. Always loved it. I think Ratchet and Clank was the first game I got when I upgraded to a PS3. And I know it came out on PS2, but Future Tools of Destruction was my introduction to Ratchet and Clank. And it's behind this green screen somewhere. That was my introduction into into Ratchet and Clank. So seeing this new one, and it go back to its basics and everything, yeah, I'm ready for it and stuff. But people are talking, oh my God, Ratchet and Clank looks so great. It's next to no loading times, this, that, and the fourth, and talking about it as if it's a game that is graphically demanding as Ghost of Tsushima. It's not that graphically demanding. You know, you got a character that's pretty much moving in one place, but the backgrounds are moving towards the game. It's not that graphically difficult to make in comparison to a game like potentially Last of Us 3 or something of that nature, Ghost of Tsushima 2, or the next infamous game, things of that nature. That takes a lot. You know? Let me see what's going on. You say it's the same thing. I say Series S is for $300. Yeah, it's gonna be. They say it does. The only thing it has less with is the teraflops, the resolution, and half the storage space on the SSD drive. And you might call it underpowered garbage, Kareem. Well, what's going on? My name Kareem as well. Anyway. You might call it underpowered garbage. I call it a foot into the next gen door. And it's $300, which is a competitive price for those who are looking at the Nintendo Switch. You tell me I get a next gen console for the amount I have to pay for a portable Nintendo Switch, and I got these things for it. It serves its purpose. It really does. Microsoft don't fucking care about doing things Sony's way anymore. They found out something that worked for them. They found out that you actually sells that people want and want to keep. And that is Game Pass. Game Pass is something that people want to keep because it keeps improving. It's the Netflix of gaming. And this is our device to play it on. If you don't care about graphics so much, but you want Game Pass, you want... All right, let's see what's going on here. Am I back? It's continuing. All right, here I am. All right. Okay, it looked like I'm back.